I'm Ilia Hastings from Margaret River Brewhouse. That's my business. My background, my mum's family are Croatian, immigrants to Australia pre-World War II. Yeah, carried that name from a distant relative somewhere in Croatia. Dad's a Kiwi, hence you get the sort of strange combination of Ilia Hastings, which is kind of cool. Don't mind it as an adult. Didn't love it as a child in primary school, but the Croatian side particularly is very warm, welcoming, hospitable people, and that sort of come out in my latter career as a business owner of a good hospitality venue. Grew up in the northwest of Western Australia as a kid. Moved to Perth for high school and university. Studied as a town planner. Had I wouldn't say illustrious career, but a good career that let me move to the southwest in the late 90s. Did a lot of work for local councils and myself as a consultant. Yeah, got to the point where I wanted to do something that was possibly a little more true to who I was as a person, which was engaging with people and keeping people happy and comfortable. That led, amongst other things, to starting up a completely different business in a completely different industry, which was hospitality and brewing. That led me to, what everyone knows as Margaret River Brewhouse.
That's my business. That's my business.
The seeds for our business with myself and Andrew, I think we were sitting in a little office up in the Shire of Capel, 2013 or 14, thinking that maybe there's something better for us, more exciting, more engaging, more connected to our passions. And from that point, we really started to put some ideas and concepts around what we might do to achieve that. They range from our naivety about what hospitality was. Obviously, we just wanted to brew beer. That was what we were pretty good at. We saw a space in a great region like we live to be able to do that. That developed into a search for a site, and we sort of hit and missed on a couple of sites and ended up identifying the current location of Brewhouse on Bustle Highway, just outside of Margaret River. So it started like that, the four of us, so my wife Kiralee and Andrew's partner Sandra, two other people, Aaron Brown, who's one of the current owners still, and his background was hospitality, run good restaurants all over the world, was head chef at the Goose in Busselton when it was probably the premier restaurant in the southwest. We put together what we thought was a really good team, a really good concept for what we wanted to do as people, but what we felt the town probably was crying out for, and that was a really good outdoor venue that served great food with locally brewed beer. Sounds simple, but that was kind of the concept behind it, and obviously a lot more work goes into it than just saying it. Over the years, we managed to go through all the processes and financial planning and operational stuff that led us to open doors of Brewhouse in January 2016. So yeah, it was exciting times. That's my business. I'm Ilia Hastings from Margaret River Brewhouse. I think the main challenge for a business like that is maintaining a standard, making sure that the values upon which you base that business, so looking after the people that walk through that door, in terms of value for money, in terms of how they're greeted, in terms of the product, the beer or the food they receive, is going to be reliable and enjoyable. And it's really easy to take your foot off the pedal in any business, but in hospitality particularly, it can be quite fickle. And I think you have to be quite genuine and authentic about it. So it's easy for me to do that as an owner and talk to that person and give them my full attention and make sure they have a good time. But transferring that level of effort and culture and experience to the people that work for you, it can be challenging. But fortunately, we have good people now, and we build a culture where people understand that we're a yes business, that person that walks through that door is the most important person, and most things are pretty positive after that as a business owner.
That's my business.
We built the team over a number of years. It was really about leading from the front in terms of us as owners. So Andrew brewer, Aaron chef, myself front of house and general manager, being in the trenches with them for a long time, showing them what the culture was. We've done 70, 80 hour weeks for 2-3 years trying to build that business, but But over time, the people understood what we wanted to do and understood our values and what we wanted to achieve at Brewhouse. They were the people that stayed with us and eventually rose with us and became empowered to take more responsibility and bigger roles. And ultimately, those people, whether they're chefs or front of house or brewers or salespeople, because we've now expanded our business, that ultimately, drive the business day to day. So we're really fortunate. But ultimately, culture was, and us being part of that and developing that culture, brought that team in. And anyone that doesn't fit that culture, they quickly disappear, not into the pizza oven, but they just tend to not want to hang around because they don't fit in. That's my business. I'm Ilia Hastings from Margaret River Brewhouse. As with our two businesses, Brewhouse and Beerco, we, depending on the season, we employ between sort of 60 and 95 people. Not all of those are salaried, but a good chunk, probably, nearly half of those would be salaried local people. And the rest sort of come and go a little bit depending on the season and who's floating around town. It's been awesome. I mean, one of the things that makes me most happy and proud about having a business like we do is that we have so many people in senior and important positions that have started at our bar or started in our kitchen, and now they are business development managers and sales executives and operations managers, and I think we provide a really good pathway for people to grow, and that's not always the case in hospitality. People often view hospitality as maybe just a job that they need to do to fill a gap. Whereas we see it as a really great starting point for people to better themselves, and that's great for us, obviously. But when I see those people grow from the bar to much better jobs, and they've been with us for a long time, that's a real source of pride, and obviously helps our community too to have a good, stable, growing business in our town. I'd say we're probably at certain times of the year, one of the bigger employers, and we're really proud of that. We look after our people and they fly the flag for us really well.
That's my business. That's my business.
So our future plans, I mean, as a brew house, as a hospitality venue, we want to keep giving to the town that means so much to us. We want to continue to keep people happy, to be a meeting place for people to come and be happy or commiserate or just be with friends and family and enjoy themselves and forget about their day. And as a broader business, late last year, we commenced operation of a new brewery on Station Road. We've named that Margaret River Beerco. The story behind that is basically us wanting to step out into the wider world with Margaret River beer. It's been flogged over the last 8 years. And particularly the last 2 or 3, as we've ventured out into the retail and the wholesale market for beer. We're going to still brew there. We'll still do specialty brews and beers that are for our venue. But the future for us is to have Brewhouse as our venue and as our heart for our community, but also expand what we're doing in the beer world and taking things to a wider audience. That lets us actually employ more people, contribute more to all the people and groups in our community that we help out, whether it's environmental or sporting or culture or arts or whatever it is. It helps us be better and bigger, but in a good way.
Taking care of business.
I support Radio Margaret River because it's so awesome to have an independent voice, to have creative people, to have people that are forming a point of communication amongst all the different elements and layers of a town like Margaret River, which is, for a smallish country town, is quite complex and quite diverse. To have a radio station in the town that pulls in different elements and lets people be creative and express, whether it's in music or discussion or events that they hold. Super lucky to have something like this, and I think it's only going to get better and better and better. I'm Ilia Hastings from Margaret River Brewhouse. That's my business.